Hello and good afternoon everybody, and welcome back once again for another video of DIY investing. With yesterday's update, I figured it would be best to follow up with a bearish scenario that I'm watching inside of Bitcoin. With Bitcoin being the leader of the value inside of the crypto market, it's important to strategize and make your plans around what Bitcoin is doing. So today we're going to be diving in and I'm going to be sharing with you guys an alternative perspective that I'm watching inside of Bitcoin that could potentially see it go further down from here. If you're new and just finding this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any more videos like the one provided for you here. We also have a very exciting Discord community that I'm working on growing to get to the fullest potential that it can be. So if you're somebody that's looking for signals, you're somebody that wants to share their own analysis, or even just follow other analysis that I may post inside of my own server, click the invitation link in the description of this video, and there you're going to get full access to that. Before we jump into the video today, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to all my subscribers. Recently, the channel's been growing very quickly, and so for that, I'm just super thankful. It took me a little over a year to actually hit 100 subscribers, and then since that point, we've almost averaged 100 a month. And so for that, guys, I'm very excited about the way things are looking, and it's really awesome to just have an exciting community that everybody can get behind and share their own analysis and learn and grow as a community, because that's honestly the best way to succeed in life today. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Without further ado, let's jump right in the video today. Alright guys, so here we are once again to one of my favorite charts. This is the Brave New Coin Liquid Index for Bitcoin. Now, for you guys that do not know, this is just the all-time graph of Bitcoin. This is a very informative chart to use to show kind of like the long picture trend of things, because you guys already know that I like to trade the bigger picture trends of these markets, because I found that that's the most profitable strategy for me personally. And so for that, I'm always watching these longer term charts, and it really helps me to kind of see what potentially the market could do from here. Now, today we're going to be taking a look at this chart, and I want to show you guys a few different things. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you'll know that I talk about this chart a lot, so you shouldn't need too much catching up. But for you guys that don't, let's go through here and analyze kind of what this means exactly. So this is the linear trend of Bitcoin. We can see that we have these explosive price rallies followed by short-term corrections, and then we kind of just repeat this cycle all the way through. Now, this is a very interesting chart because it also shows exactly when the halvenings have taken place. Now, every 4 years, Bitcoin has a halvening where the mining reward gets cut in half, and for that, it creates a massive price swing and kind of a supply shock that takes place. And so this has happened by indication of every one of these blue lines. Thus far, we've had 2 halvenings. I actually bought my first Bitcoin and got into cryptocurrency right about here, $450 before we had our second halvening in 2016. And what's coming next, guys, is the next halvening, which will be our third halvening, May 25th, 2020. And this is a very important milestone for Bitcoin. I think that with this next halvening, it's always been a major price catalyst moving Bitcoin forward. And I think that this has a lot of potential on the long term moving forward. But with that being said, guys, I talked about that this video would be a little bit more of a bearish scenario. So let's actually drop it to a shorter time frame and explain my thoughts as to why I think that we could be bearish. Now, if you're taking a look at this chart, we're going to quickly go over here and see that we have had this descending resistance, right? Now, how I was drawing this, and you got to keep in mind, guys, this is on a log scale, so this is going to be a little different. On the normal chart, I have this as a falling wedge that we have broken out of. Now, on the log scale, we are still trending below this descending resistance. And so for me, guys, the ultimate confirmation that you're going to find inside of trading cryptocurrency is log scale confirmation. Because oftentimes with log scale, it takes a little bit more price action to truly break out of a trend line. And a lot of those trend lines are a little bit stronger because you have bigger institutions that are strictly watching the log scale chart. And so for that, guys, it's really important to keep this scale in perspective of things, because it often tells a different story. Now, this story is a little different because it has us still trending below this descending resistance. And so this, guys, based off of the log scale chart, this still very much could go down from here. And I want to make that clear for you guys. Even though I'm short-term bullish, I see a lot of altcoins setting up, I still think that we have the potential for Bitcoin to drop down a little further. And so it's important that we keep all perspectives open so that we're not completely stuck watching the market completely just awestruck at what potentially could have happened, when we could make a plan in place and then understand that that was a possibility and potential that we were dealing with. So kind of what I'm watching for, guys, and let's go over here. We can see that this blue line is the next halvening. So we have about less than 6 months until we have this next halvening. And this is really that big catalyst that everybody is watching for. Anybody that's been in crypto for a while knows that the halvenings are a for sure thing to boost price into new price discovery. And so that's what everybody's been watching pretty significantly since Bitcoin's been around and we've watched the halvenings take place. So with this descending resistance, it's important to understand that as long as we're trending below this bear trend is still very much intact. Now, even though on a regular scale chart we have temporarily broken out of this, it's not outside enough to where it could for sure be a guaranteed thing that we're about to start this next bull cycle. And really what I'm going to be waiting for my confirmation is once we break out of this log scale, because log scale is the chart that the institutional investors are going to be using, and it's really important to understand that and note that moving forward. It's interesting to me that because we're so close to this next halvening, I think that it would be ideal in my eyes. Now, a lot of you guys might disagree with me, but it would be ideal, in my opinion, if we could go back down for one more leg lower. Now, if we went for one more low down back to this trend line, that would take us back to about $6,500. And I think that would be a really good scenario for people that were watching to accumulate more crypto. And it's still very much in the play of things, because if we drop it to a weekly time scale, we're going to see that we had this descending triangle, and we sold through that, and then we got a buyback, right? But the thing about the buyback is the fact that we closed underneath that support as resistance, and we're now rejecting from that. And so based off of this, guys, every descending triangle has about a 40 to a 50% chance of a pullback back to the median of the breakdown. And so our breakdown was here at about 9,500, and then we sold back down to about 78, and then we got immediate buyback all the way back up to 9,500 again. But we didn't actually clear above that level. We sold back below that convincingly. And so that, guys, is a textbook example of what a descending triangle could play out. Because generally speaking, especially one being at the top of a trend, because you can have a couple different descending triangles. We had one inside of Bitcoin back at the 6K floor, and we can see that this one kind of played out a little bit different. This one was a bearish continuation pattern, and that's exactly what we had. We had the start of our downtrend, consolidated in the descending triangle, and then we had bearish continuation to the bottom of capitulation. But this descending triangle here, this one right here, was at the very top of a trend. And so this one very easily could see further bearish continuation even after we sold through, had a buyback, and now we're going back down again. And so that's still a possibility that you guys should be watching out for. With the severity of this pump, I'm still more bullish, especially looking at altcoins. They look a lot more bullish to me than bearish. And so for that reason, I think that it's possible that we could continue to break out from here. But we're going to watch and see exactly what's going to happen. But with all that being said, guys, I want you guys to understand that there still is very much a high possibility of this bearish trend continuing based off of the fact that we've got rejected once again from this descending resistance. We weren't able to close above this 9,500 psychological resistance level, and we're now selling off from that. So if we don't manage to find support very soon, I think that the lowest support level would be about 8,400 for me. If we don't find support around there and then start bouncing higher, then I would expect us to go for one more leg down. Now, the interesting thing to me, guys, is the fact that if we drop this to a bigger scale and kind of zoom out a little bit, let's actually delete this. Let's take a look at kind of what's happened thus far. Now, the difference between this cycle and the other ones previously is previously after the bear market, we'd have these first two little leg ups, right? Then we'd have the halvening, and then we'd go into price discovery. And we kind of repeat this cycle. Leg up, halvening, price discovery. And I was watching for something similar to kind of play out here, but we have had something a little bit different. From the lows, we had a strong impulse, and we still have yet to really come back down and retest this long-term trend line. Now, the thing about a trend line I want to point out to you guys is the fact that no trend line is going to be perfect. Now, this itself is a linear trend, which means it's just a tool that I kind of fit here to fill a bias. And so this trend line actually even has less of a significance of playing out. But the way that it's kind of behaved thus far, after the initial breakout, we always come back down to retest this trend line. And so I wouldn't be surprised if in this move in Bitcoin, we come back down for one more low, retest this linear trend line, kind of stop here for a little while before going back up further in the cycle. Now, what I would love to see, guys, what I would honestly love to see happen here is we do sell off and go a leg lower. Now, even though I accumulated positions at 91, 83.50, and 76, if we went lower, I would be more than pleased with that, because that just means I can accumulate more cheap Bitcoin. If we actually did have some sort of case like that where we sold for another leg lower, I can guarantee you guys that I would be finding any extra cash that I have to deploy and unload inside of Bitcoin. I don't care how underwater my bags are, my long-term bags for the short term. I'm always looking to accumulate, and especially if we got a sizable retrace back down to 6,500. That would be over 50% sell-off, and you cannot go wrong buying that, in my opinion. And so for this video, I wanted to just talk about the possibility that I can see happening where this bear trend is still underway, and we still have more bearish downside to come. The breakdown of the descending triangle saw a buyback to resistance. We weren't able to reclaim that resistance as support, and we're now selling off from that. And so for me, guys, this is looking a lot more bearish than anything. And I would actually expect to see, based off of the log scale, if we don't find a really quick buyback very soon, then we'll have one more leg back down to about 6,500. And then that's going to be around my real big price target moving forward inside of Bitcoin, the $6,500 level, and that would also take us back down to this linear trend line. And I think that that would be an excellent place to be buying Bitcoin. Really, any time right now is a great time to be buying Bitcoin. You can't really go wrong with it under 5 figures. That's just my personal opinion. Remember, guys, this is just my opinion, and it's not financial advice by any means. This is basically just me showing you guys my perspectives and kind of the things that I'm watching out for as of right now. You guys already know that all trades that I've taken inside of this little dip inside of Bitcoin have been for my long-term bags. And so even if Bitcoin drops down for another leg lower, it really will not affect me in the slightest, because I've already moved on from my emotional attachment to my money and my investments inside of crypto. Being here for 3.5 years and having 100% of all of your net worth accumulated inside of crypto, eventually you get to the point where you don't have that attachment to what your earnings are anymore. You're able to kind of just move past from that and really just keep your trading plan really goal-orientated, focused, and just make sure that you're on that trading plan to where you're not going to keep making mistakes. Because I can tell you guys that with investing 100% of your money into any sort of investment, it doesn't matter what it is, you're going to probably fail at that. And I will admit that that's a hard thing to do. And the only reason for me investing 100% of my net worth inside of crypto is because I am such an adamant believer in what is coming for this market cycle. I watched the last market cycle, made a lot of money off of that, took my money, invested everything that I had into this next cycle. And so for that, I'm fully invested, guys. I don't care what's going to happen. I think and I believe that Bitcoin's going to go up, and I have faith in that. But at the end of the day, I don't know any more than you guys do. And so for that reason, guys, I wanted to talk about this bearish scenario. If this happens, I want you guys to understand that it's not the end of the world. Even if you bought up here at the top, this is still going to give you guys an excellent opportunity to be buying. Don't get shaken out by the fear in this dip, because I know that there's a lot of it. There's a lot of choppy action that's taking place right now, and it's honestly going to chop you guys up a lot if you don't stick to your trading plans and follow it through. Now, with that being said, guys, before we wrap up this video, let's kind of take a look and see exactly how big this retrace could get potentially. Now, if we drop back down to 6,500, that's almost going to be another 30% drop. And so it's really important to watch out if you're somebody that's looking to be taking positions in this time. I wanted to make this video so that I could explain the cons of taking positions in this time, but not necessarily the cons of taking positions, but really just the alternative perspective that this thing can still very much go down. I know that we saw such a strong buyback from this initial sell-off, but this being a descending triangle, there was already a 50% chance of us buying back to the resistance, and now we're selling off from there. What I wanted to see was us clear with another green candle to put us backwards, to put us back up of about 10,500, but we weren't able to do that. And so the fact that we're still selling off below this, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 unsuccessful attempts to break this descending resistance. I'm a little bit more bearish in this time. I'm going to continue to play my trading plan as follows. I'm going to be looking to accumulate some more bids at about a leg lower, because I still feel like we're very much have the potential for one more drop down. Now, with that being said, guys, this would also make a lot of sense amongst the altcoin market. I think that if Bitcoin makes another leg down, we'll see a leg up in the Bitcoin pairs, or at least some nice green candles coming in there with that. That would be my that would be about my guess as far as what we could expect to see with Bitcoin making another leg down. But with that being said, I think that the dollar pairs are actually going to drop a little bit. If Bitcoin were to drop and make one more leg down, the altcoin USD pairs are going to follow suit, because that's what happens thus far. The altcoin dollar pairs are going to just follow what Bitcoin on the dollar is doing. And right now it looks like Bitcoin on the dollar could be potential for one more drop back down. Now this doesn't have to happen. Remember guys, we could find support somewhere in this cluster about where we're at, about roughly where we're at. I would like to see a buyback, but if not, one more leg lower. This is kind of just the strategy that I'm watching out for, guys. And really, I want it to drop lower. I'm always on the fence of just being that person that's telling you guys, if Bitcoin drops lower, it's always a good thing, and you will never be mad at yourself if you're sitting here buying Bitcoin when it's dropping, especially with this leg up that we had inside of Bitcoin. This was such an explosive move, and the fact that it's retracing so much is honestly setting up for the best investment opportunity of your guys' lives. I mean, I didn't expect Bitcoin to drop below 40%. We're below 40%, or we were below 40%, and now we have the potential to accumulate mid 55%. That's amazing in my opinion. And so don't get shaken out. If we go for another leg lower, understand that this is all just part of the process. There's going to be a big shakeout in the altcoins if that takes place. The dollar pairs are going to drop a little bit. It's going to get a little bit crazy and volatile, but that leaves you guys an excellent opportunity to be profiting inside of this market. So anyways guys, this is the video I had for you. I wanted to quickly touch up on a few things. This is my bearish scenario with Bitcoin moving forward. I just wanted to talk about this so that you guys knew exactly kind of what I was thinking moving forward. I've had my bearish scenario for a while, and I've already told you guys that I was watching for the potential of the altcoin dominance to drop off a leg lower, but I think that that's looking a little bit less likely. If Bitcoin drops for another leg lower, the altcoin dominance is going to continue to grow. Bitcoin dominance is going to drop off, and even though the dollar pairs for altcoins is going to continue to drop with Bitcoin, it's really that Bitcoin amount that you want to be watching, because you always want to be growing your Bitcoin value. That's the most important thing, because at the end of the day, does anybody truly believe in the stability of the dollar or any other fiat currency? I know that I don't, and so that's why I do this, is to accumulate more Bitcoin. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you found this video helpful, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any more videos like the one provided for you here. If you're looking for signals or just want to share your own analysis and even check out my analysis that I share inside of my Discord, join my Discord server by clicking the invitation link in the description, and there you're going to get full access there. Thank you guys so much. I will catch you in the next video. As always, peace out.